Welcome back to Driven to Discuss. And so this is a show where myself, Don Smith, and my co-host, Rich Warren, what's up, Rich? We bring guests on usually, and we talk about things that may or may not have to do with truck driving. A lot of times it does, or it has to do with the industry. And so we interview people and get some unique stories and just kind of have a big conversation on here. Maybe you learn something, maybe you don't, but hopefully we have a good time in the end. So today I've got Charlie McQuarrie. I said it right?
It's close enough.
And good. So he actually has a very unique story. For a little background, he's an Alaska driver, just like Rich, and but before he came to Walmart, he has done a lot in the fitness fitness industry, and also he's been in law enforcement for many, many years, and currently still has some law enforcement things that he does now, even working with Walmart. So let me go ahead and introduce him. What's up, Charlie? This is Charlie here. How you doing?
How you doing? Glad to be here.
Good. Yeah, good to meet you. And so how do you want to start this off, Rich? You got some questions?
Well, I mean, there's lots of places that we could start. Charlie is the reason that I'm doing the Alaska runs right now, because when I was trying to get into the Alaska runs at Walmart, he was the guy that helped me get here. And then once I got here, he was the first guy to help me come up with some different routines and different things to do as far as fitness goes. As some of you may know, Walmart has a special program called Centers of Excellence. When I came to Walmart, I went through the Centers of Excellence and had bariatric surgery. If you guys go through my YouTube channel, Walmart Rich, you'll see in the very beginning, my face was extremely round. I weighed almost 500 pounds. And when I came out here, the first thing Charlie did was, hey, man, we're going to the gym. And he showed me a lot of things that I can do in my semi-truck, even with a partner rolling down the road. So Charlie, let's kind of go back to the very beginning, because I know that you had told me the story before that you've worked with athletes. You were on the show, The Biggest Loser. So how did you get started on your fitness journey, and how do you do things now in the truck? We're going to cross that whole bridge here.
Okay. Well, my fitness journey, believe it or not, started at 9 years old. I was an avid football player, and I wanted to be better. I wanted to get a scholarship. So at 9 years old, I dedicated myself. I rode my bike 3 miles round trip to the YMCA gym and worked out. And some older guys that were bodybuilders took me under their wing and showed me a lot about nutrition and lifting correctly. From there, I went on to high school and played for a prestigious high school that has won 27 state championships, and I was on 2 of those teams. From there, I went into the Marine Corps and U.S. Navy. I did both boot camps. I did Navy first, Marines second, because I wanted to be a combat corpsman. So you have to, that way I could go back from SEAL teams to recon teams. So you have to be extremely fit, because the failure rate is really, really tough. So when I got out of that, I did my 8 years in the Marines. I'm also a Desert Storm veteran. When I got out of the Marines, when you're in the Marines especially, they have what they call job fairs for the people that have 90 days or less. And I was recruited by a few police departments, and I thought that's what I wanted to do. So as soon as I got out, I went to the police academy in Kentucky and became a Louisville patrol officer. And I did that for a year, uniform patrol, and I couldn't handle it. And the reason why I couldn't handle it is we were arresting people that really needed to serve, and they were getting out before we'd finish our reports. And I thought mentally, with a little bit of PTSD, I might flip. So that's what switched me from uniformed and going to truck driving, because 3 of my uncles were truck drivers. And I thought, well, I'll try this. But my captain in charge of me said, don't give up, be a reserve. So I switched to reserve and undercover work, hence the crazy looks. So I've in my past, I was really good at buying drugs. We'll just leave it at that. Bad guys,
and then you did it for the job, right?
Yeah. So, but I got into trucking 34 years ago, right out straight from LMPD to trucking. Went to truck driving school. absolutely loved it, and I still do, and especially Alaska. It's the best job I've ever had. It's and Walmart as well is the best job I've ever had. But as far as the fitness goes, since I was local, I continued to push myself. So um, I played semi-pro football till the age of 40 in arena football, and I was big because I was a linebacker, and that's too heavy to go into older age. So when I retired from football at 40, I started running marathons, and I did an Ironman, I did two strongman, and I did two ultras with this lady. Um, she wasn't a runner, but she became one when she married me. So that's kind of my fitness journey. I've always been really, really keyed in, and I would say probably being a combat corpsman for special operations groups, that really takes you to a different level. And I'll make it clear, when I help people, I'm not trying, I don't push that on anybody. I'm just trying for overall health. Let's get the blood sugars down. Let's get the cholesterol down. Let's get the body fat down. Let's get the blood flowing so you can live a quality of life. And that's where I'm at now. And my passion is truck drivers. I love truck drivers. They're the backbone of this country. And I'd like to see them healthier, and it's sad that gotten the way it has, but it is an easy fix. I mean, I say it's easy, but it's a mindset. It's a total mindset. That part's the hard part. But saying that you work 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day, and you're tired and all that, and you're in a cab of a truck, that's really not an excuse because I do it on an Alaska run. I work out. I carry my bands. I carry my dumbbells. If I can do it at 57, I think anybody can do it. So that's basically my background with that. And to clarify the Biggest Loser, I wasn't on the show. I was a consultant to screen the participants. So, but I was lucky enough. The 3 years that I worked with them, one of the guys that I passed through, because they have to go through 2 weeks of consultations with a trainer and a doctor and a physician's assistant. And I was the trainer to make sure that they could go through the strenuous program of the show without having serious health. So that's what I did. I was a screener. And one of our guys, his name was Moz. In 2009, he was the last one that we pushed through out of Louisville, Kentucky. He actually won, and it changed his life. So, but
Do you
no,
still stay in contact with him?
No, I haven't. I tried to look him up. He was 57 at the time in 2009. So he would be in his
Okay.
70s now. But I know it changed his life immensely because when he won and he took it to heart, he wound up opening his own gym and becoming a personal trainer until he retired. I do know that
Wow.
much. Yeah, and coached youth basketball. So it totally flipped his life around from 500 pounds to 220, I think, and staying healthy and opening a gym to help people. So that's kind of cool.
Okay, so I think you would agree that one of the things that I've learned through my surgery, because everybody thinks, oh, you went and had the surgery, you took the easy way out.
That's not the easy way.
It's not the easy way out. It's difficult, but for different reasons.
Yeah.
But I think the one thing that somebody like me who had the surgery, somebody who's trying to diet, or somebody who's trying to gain, strength, muscle, the heavy weightlifter guys, everybody I think has the same thing in common, and that is you have to be consistent. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Consistency is the key to all of this. Do you agree?
That's 100%. 100% because, and that's where the mind comes in. It's a powerful thing. It is a lifestyle change. And I don't even like the word diet. I call it healthy eating. There is a big difference because I don't know if you all have noticed it. I'm sure you do. You're both you're up there in age a little bit like me. But you've been around, you're smart. And if you go to any bookstore, Barnes and Noble, you'll see 1,000 diet books. There's a reason for that. And I worked with doctors, and they'll tell you, any doctor that studied kinesiology and sports nutrition, those books are there because they fail. There is no book for a diet that works. You go through grapefruit diet, you go through this, that, and the other. It's all about portion and what you eat. And that's not a diet. That's a choice. It's a healthy eating.
Right.
So
I feel like that most diets can work. You can make them work, but the part that fails is you just gain the weight back. So when you said healthy eating, yeah, and the consistency, that's when a diet is successful, no matter how you
Right.
lose the weight. You healthy eat there on out, then you got success. I've lost 60 pounds in like
Okay.
3 months.
Wow.
I've done that.
That's,
I've done that 3 different times now, and I do it by just drinking like green juice, just no sugar juices, green juice. I go on a juice fast. I've not eaten for like that long before.
Yeah.
I just did juice, and the weight just flies off, and then about as fast as it flew off, it flies back on.
Yeah, that's the sad part. It comes back fast, and I'm no different than you guys. Even with my background, I struggle with food. If I have an addiction, it's food. I love food. I'm not going to lie about it. So
Me too.
luckily, I've never fallen off the consistency. It's from 9 till now at 57. I've never taken a week off from working out. So that's the whole thing, consistency. So I'm able to have those little falls where I eat something I shouldn't eat, McDonald's or whatever, but the next day I'm in the gym. So it kind of counterbalances.
Well,
and
that's
that's
the
where
thing
people,
is, I think most
that's where they
everything
fall
in life
off.
is consistency.
Yeah,
We
I would
have
agree with
glitch.
that.
Yeah, something happened there. He was still talking, but not moving.
Yeah, I froze.
Chinese TV.
Is that what I was saying? I think most everything in life is consistency. Like we do YouTube. The only people that are successful at YouTube are the ones that consistently upload and keep putting content out. You miss, then you're back down again.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Working at a job, same thing, like trucking, consistently, don't get in an accident, keep, in the industry, work your way up. I've worked at Walmart now for 18 and a half years, and it's probably the most consistent thing in my life because, well, for one, it's easy. They treat you like gold. And for two, I've pretty much trained myself to be consistent, to come to work, do the job exactly how we're supposed to, and then I go home and the benefits pay off. So, I mean, I don't know why food or anything else, a relationship, any of that wouldn't be any different. Consistency.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's
So before we get into healthy eating and before we get into some exercises that truckers or anybody can do, I think there's a third part of the pyramid, and you kind of touched on it a minute ago, and that is the mental aspect of things. Now, I see a therapist weekly because I do have a food addiction, and I'm going to tell you a story that may not shock you, but it may shock some people because it shocked me when I learned about it. My food addiction is so bad that back before I had the surgery, and this came out because I had to speak to a therapist while I was trying to get the surgery. I used to go and sell plasma to get the cash so that I could go to a Burger King, a McDonald's, a pizza place, whatever it was, and get food to eat on my way home to my wife at the time and have dinner with the family. And the reason that I sold the plasma was so that she wouldn't see the money come out of the bank account. And when I talked to the therapist about this when I was having the surgery, he goes, "You have a food addiction." I said, "What do you mean a food addiction?" He goes, "You basically just did what a crack addict or a heroin addict or any other drug addict does to get their fix. They sold something, they did something, they hid things, they weren't being truthful." And when they really brought all that out, it was like, I'll be honest, me and my wife cried in that doctor's office. It was a revelation of anything I've ever gone through. And something that I've been working on recently, because consistency is my biggest problem. I know what my problem is. Fixing it is the hard part. But something I've worked on recently, and I don't know if you've ever used this, and this is going to be my long way to get to my question. I've started using positive affirmations. And I know some people are like, "Oh, that's that, foo-foo, California, liberal, blah, blah, blah." It really isn't, because I was helping somebody 2 weeks ago because they were like, "Well, what is a positive affirmation? How do I make one?" So I made an example for the person. Actually, I think I posted in that little positive chat group that we've got, Charlie.
I've been reading them.
Where basically all I did was I tried to have a smile, I tried to feel positive, and I repeated 10 times. If somebody makes me upset in traffic, I will meet them with a smile or something like that. And I did this to help somebody else, and it never dawned on me. The very next day, some lady tried to cut over and wasn't paying attention and almost hit me. And I said, lady, stay in your own lane. And then a smile came to my face. And I went, why the hell am I smiling at this lady? And then it dawned on me. The positive affirmation that I had set had actually sunk into my subconscious and had actually worked. And I was like, wow. So I started using those every single day to try to keep myself consistent. Have you ever used anything like that, or do you have any tricks to help people stay in mentally?
I have a trick, and I don't know if it's a trick, but I do believe in the positive attitude and affirmation. One thing that I've learned, Nadine actually taught me this, is every morning when you get up, write down your notebook that's in your pocket or whatever, write down 5 things that you like about yourself. Because you're going to pick something, right? If you come up with 3, that's better than none. But try to write 5
Zig Ziglar.
and then think about.
Is that where you got that?
Yeah.
From Zig Ziglar? Is that where you got that?
I got it from my wife. She it was something that I think her therapist told her. Yeah, is to write.
Yeah, I don't know if you know who Zig Ziglar was, but that was his number one.
Okay.
Like, yeah, that right there.
So, and that's in the same family of just something positive. Everybody always thinks about their negatives. Oh, I'm fat. Oh, I'm ugly. Oh, I'm this or whatever. Get that out. Think about positive things, and then it'll lead into what Rich is saying. Is when you're out in the public and people do things bad, well, you just think about nice things about yourself and then be nice. And
negative self-talk was the first thing my therapist, the very first conversation we had, she talked about negative self-talk and how you have to stop that right now.
Yeah.
Well, that's something that I've learned along the way. Everything that's successful in my life, I wasn't emotional about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you say think of positive things, respond with positive, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
You're controlling your emotions. You don't want to be sad, disappointed, mad, or angry. You're just going with, yeah, get out of my way, lady. And then you smile.
Yeah.
You're controlling your emotions. Emotions are usually, here's the problem with emotions. You get excited, you watch somebody, like a inspirational speaker, and you get excited.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, I'm going to go out and start that business, or I'm going to lose that weight, or I'm going to do whatever. And then guess what happens? It runs out. And then you're just sitting there dead with nothing. Everything that ever was successful in my life was when I didn't have any emotion. In my head, I was like, just do it, no matter how you feel about it.
Yes.
But that's where you have to feed your subconscious, because your subconscious will take whatever energy you give it. If you talk bad about yourself and you're negative, your subconscious will lock that in there and you will naturally be that way. If you get rid of that and you start feeding your subconscious happy, positive things, your subconscious will take that and it will change your attitude. It will change the way you think naturally, like it did that lady when she cut me off and I smiled at her and I was like, what the holy crap, it worked.
Yeah.
Well, I think it makes it to where you don't get stuck on stupid.
That's a good new phrase.
So Charlie, I had somebody, I think it was in our Happy Walmart driver group that we've got on Facebook, and I tagged you in that because the gentleman got on there the other day and he goes, hey, I want to start food prepping for my truck. What are some healthy things that I can eat? So I'm gonna just give a couple examples of what I take, because my diet, when I say diet, it's my food abilities are different than some people, because I have to stay on a high protein, low sugar, low fat diet. I don't have to worry about carbs or anything like that, but I have to work more on high protein and portion control because my stomach is extremely small. Yeah. So I will take boiled eggs. I will take string cheese. I will take the shelled pistachios. The reason I take the shelled one is because I have to put it in my mouth. I have to take the shell off. I usually spit it into like an empty cup or something like that. And then I get that small nut out of the inside of the shell. It takes a lot longer to eat things that way. Yeah. I will make my own chicken, what do you call them? Like chicken strips that aren't fried, because I'm not allowed to have anything fried. My body will reject any of the grease and oil almost immediately. So I take my homemade chicken strips or, chicken breast. I've recently bought a smoker and I started smoking chicken thighs. But I take a lot of things like that. And then I've also got, and I don't think I have one with me, I usually have them almost everywhere. This is the one thing that's probably the worst thing that I eat, is I have these little boxes of bumblebee tuna and crackers, and it's like a little meal. That one little box is a meal for me. For most people, it's probably a snack. I don't get the one that has the fruit cup and the cookie and all that. It's just the tuna fish and the crackers. Those are some of the things that I take for me in a week. What do you suggest people meal prep, or what are some foods that you think are beneficial for people?
Well, I think what you're doing is spot on, and not just for bariatric, but for a lot of people. I do the boiled eggs like you do. I just made some today for the truck. I do tuna in a can, just straight out of the can. And I love tuna in the oil, but I can take on a little more fat.
Yeah.
I meal prep. I swear to it because it saves you a lot of money. You eat healthy. Some of the things I do is the chickens, your chicken strips. I actually used your recipe and made them. And,
Really?
oh yeah, I did them. I did them and took them to work. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So
Now, do you air fry them or did you
air
oven
fry.
fry
I
them?
air fry everything.
Yeah, they're better in the air fryer.
Yeah, yeah. Steak, leaner steaks is good to meal prep. And if you're going to eat the veggies, stick with the ones that have the vitamins, like sweet potatoes, have tons of vitamins in them. I do broccoli, and I'll put it in the air fryer and season it and have it with my steak. But the eggs is a big thing, and I myself, I cook. I go one week from the other. I'll go from boiled eggs for my breakfast with a little bit of low fat yogurt, or I'll go to bacon and low fat yogurt. I do the protein yogurt, 15 or 20 grams of protein, and protein's a big thing.
Okay.
It's very important. But anybody can Google these meal preps. And in general, the high protein, low carb is good for most people. I mean, carbs are what, carbs, if you're not burning the energy, is what turns into sugar and turns into fat. So,
Yeah.
and with a truck driver, you eat the high carbs, you're in trouble because you're sitting.
Well, that's what I noticed about both of you. Everything you named is zero carbs or low carbs, except for the bread on the breading on the chicken and the crackers. All that other stuff, they're pretty much no carbs.
My chicken strips don't have any breading. That's what's unique about them.
Yeah.
Even more. And one of the diets I had went on, they call it the Atkins, but I didn't know what that was at the time.
Yeah.
I love New York steak.
Me too.
I've told people I could live on New York
I'm with
steak.
you.
And I went to Costco and I lost 60 pounds in 3 months. I went to Costco and I bought one of those big slabs of it where you cut your own steaks.
Yeah.
And I was doing like 1.5 inch, 2 inch steaks, and I would barbecue them up and I put them in Ziploc bags.
Yeah.
And I'd find the fattiest steak I can get my hands on because I love the fat.
Gotta have
It's
that
my favorite.
marbling.
Yep. Oh yeah. No, I wanted more than marbling. I wanted that big chunk around it. I'd eat that first.
Yeah.
It was like candy. And yeah, I lost 60 pounds doing that in 3 months. And so when people say, well, you got to go low fat, and I'm like, I don't know if low fat does anything for you. It's the sugar or whatever can get converted into sugars things that I learned, like pistachios. Well, I wore my tongue out.
Yeah.
Messing with them things.
Yeah. Nuts are great. And his example is perfect because if you buy a big bag of pistachios not shelled, you're going to eat way too many. But taking the time to peel it apart, suck on the shell, the flavors and all that, and do it, you're going to eat less and get just as much satisfaction. It's a mind game.
Well, my father-in-law helped me with that one. He says, don't he didn't, I kind of modified it, but he says, don't eat any more than you can hold in your hand.
Yeah, that's he was smart.
And so I did that like every hour or every other hour, depending throughout the day. And so that was probably about anywhere from 15 to 20 pistachios in my hand. Yeah. And that would be my food for an hour.
Yeah.
Or the steak, I would rip a piece off and it'd be just enough to fit in my hand.
Yeah.
And I would do that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I also chew sugar-free gum to try to stretch out time that I want to actually eat something. So I'll chew sugar-free gum to stretch things out. The other thing that I do that we didn't mention, you started to mention, I don't want to make this a commercial, but if I've got a protein shake that I like, if anybody wants to know about it, they can message me. But are there protein shakes or things like that you recommend? Is it store-bought, make yourself? Like, what are some things people can do on that side of the coin?
I do protein shakes at home. I make my own out of the powder. Nadine,
What powder do you use?
she's going to go grab it, and I'll
I
know.
think it's Premier.
Okay, I didn't know if it was a store bought or.
It is from
We get it.
Walmart.
We get it from Walmart, and then on the
Okay.
road. On the road, I take the little cartons. Do you know the brand that you order from me?
It's Premier.
Premier has a small
This
carton,
actually use the gold standard. That's Walmart.
gold
too.
standard,
That's at Walmart.
Okay.
and I use this with fat-free milk or water
Peanut butter.
and a couple of spoons of peanut butter.
This.
Because this is banana, so peanut butter banana shake is amazing. And I'm not a commercial either, but I firmly believe in these. I've researched
That's also
them.
at Walmart.
This is at Walmart. And we get
Yep.
everything from Walmart.
$10.
I've seen those.
So I have a shake every day. That sometimes if I have that for breakfast, then I don't have the eggs and the bacon or the yogurt. That'll be my breakfast, and they are pretty filling.
Or you make protein powdered yogurt.
I like to use they have boxes of shelf stable almond milk, and I get the unsweetened vanilla, and that's what I use to make my shakes because I don't have to keep it refrigerated unless I open it. And then otherwise it just stays in my cabinet. And then we've got a cooler in between us and we put like water, drinks. I'll put my almond milk in that for when I want to make a shake.
Yeah.
Because you and I, we have co-drivers that we've got to worry about.
Right.
Don could do this stuff way easier than we could. We can make this happen. We've got co-drivers. The trucks don't stop. We're gone all the time. If you and I can do this, anybody can do this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And another thing with the protein powder, a trick I teach people, and it fills you up, is take this stuff, whatever flavor you like, and put it in the Greek yogurt and stir it up, and it makes a pudding. It tastes like pudding, and it's like 120 calories and 40 grams of protein. You've just got a quarter of your protein in one little meal.
I love that because there's so many times where a protein shake is liquid and it goes through me in like 15 minutes and then I'm hungry again. And I'm always like, I can't eat. And I'm fighting my addiction. I have never heard anybody say to put a protein powder, and yours being flavored banana in a plain yogurt would probably
like banana,
oh my God,
that's
like
amazing.
Banana
pudding.
The cats enjoy it as well.
It's
Oh, I
sounds
told
like-
you this is going to be the best episode we've ever had. I'm learning so much.
Well,
And I'm
it sounds to
talking
me
Charlie all
like
the time.
it sounds to me like that you guys have the best method as a truck driver because it's not causing you to have to go to the restroom all the time, like peeing.
Yeah, because the restrooms are few and far between.
Yeah.
When we get to the funny part of stories, I've got a funny story about that in Alaska. So
The restrooms in Alaska are literally little dirt or pavement pull-offs and a brick outhouse. They don't have running water in 90% of these restrooms.
The brick ones, that's the nice one. You forget about the wood ones.
You're talking about a vault toilet. Massive hole in the ground, vault toilet. Yeah.
Pretty much, it's got a concrete underneath where they can come and pump or truck it out. Yeah, we probably ought to do a Just Alaska episode where we share videos and photos and stuff because it's a different world up there.
I have big expectations of you now that you have that dash cam.
I haven't put it in the truck yet. I just got home the other day and I just got it, so I got to talk my co-driver into letting me use it. Because Don actually turned me onto this camera. Yeah. It's a dash cam. You can get up to 3 channels. So you can actually have the regular dash cam, and then you got 2 little mini dash cams, and they all work independent of each other. But I also there's a little button. It's a remote. So you can set it right there on the dash, and all you got to do is touch the button, and it will record 20 seconds or 10 seconds, whatever it is. So even my co-driver, he sees something while he's driving. All he's got to do is tap the button, and it'll save footage for me. So I'm kind of excited to try that out.
You'll get some unique footage for sure.
Today's the day I'm giving that camera away.
Oh, okay.
After we're done, I'm going to do a live, and
nice.
I think I'm going to do one of those randomizers where it just picks a name on a wheel. So
okay, so let's back on topic. The last part of this before we get into the Warne report. So we've covered the mental aspect. We've covered some of the food and healthy eating. So what are some exercises that drivers can do, or maybe somebody sitting in a desk at an office, though people who are stationary like us, what are some things that they can do to stay fit?
So as with anybody that has not exercised in a long time, I would advise consulting their doctor first because they know their health issues and their movement problems and all that. But once you get through that, in the truck, to me it's simple because we have condo cabs. So what I do every time me and my partner switch, or I take a 30-minute break, I do 10 to 15 minutes of exercise. And I carry a band, an elastic band with me. I carry two dumbbells and I carry a push up board if I'm going to get outside and the weather permits. And you can do with a band, if you just want to carry something really compact, with an exercise resistant band, you can work every muscle in your body. And there's videos that will walk you through that. You can literally do your chest, your forearms, your biceps, triceps, your legs, your abs, your shoulders, your back, everything. It covers the gym. And that's the number one thing. And if you just do 10 minutes, I have drivers back in Seymour that I've got them now, and some of them. Chris Paul, who's lost a lot of
Yeah.
weight, he's been
Yes,
on
he
my
did. He's doing great.
he's been on my exercise program. And what he does, he's a drop and hooker, obviously regional. Every time he drops and hooks, he does 10 push-ups, 25 jumping jacks, and he does calf raises. And then, so if he drops 10 or 12 trucks a day, 10 or 12, he's got 100 push-ups in. And then he'll walk 3 laps around every one. So by the time his day's over, it take no extra time. He still made his money. He's got a mile and a half of walking in. He's got 100 push-ups. He's got 250 jumping jacks. And it's so simple, it doesn't take time away. And that's what he does. But there's things you can do in the truck. And in our beds in our truck, you can do some real extreme abs to work your core. So you got to have, if in our situation, you got to have a partner that accepts that. My partner,
Yep.
we stop at a gym on the way up and on the way back in the Yukon. He's fine with that because he's sleeping anyway. He don't care. And that's part of my
Okay.
30-minute break. It takes me 45 by the time I exercise and shower, but it's not going to kill our paycheck. So there's a lot of things you can do. And the stores, if you're parked at a store for a night or a DC, walk the outline of that store 2 or 3 times. And walking is underrated. It's one of the best exercises there is. It gets the blood flow.
It's the best low impact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those
Yep. And I do the walking around the truck on my 30-minute break. And then the other thing that the gym I go to Anytime Fitness now. My instructor has taught me to do exercises on the bumper of the trailer. You put your leg up on the bumper and you can get good stretches in, with your calves. You can get good stretches with your hamstrings. And then I have a band. And then the other thing that he said to do is, if you can, all you need is a small, like a broomstick, or if you carry, we've got a squeegee for our windows, whatever, you can use that. And you can do a lot of stretching and exercises by holding onto that. And these are all things that every driver has in their truck. You could use a strap from the inside of the trailer. We've all got one in the side door. Grab that strap and use that there's so many things that you can do. And like you said, they're low impact. They don't take a lot of time. I mean, gosh, if Chris is doing those exercises, a couple jumping jacks and a couple push-ups, he's not even taking, a minute?
Right. And he's the thing is with him, it was consistency. And then on his days off, he built a home gym. So he's getting it in. And he's down about 200 pounds now. He's right at the 200-pound mark. So, and that's over a 2-year period. And he has his down times and all that, and he just gets a hold of me. He needs motivation. So, and that's what I'm here for. You need to have a talk. I've motivated you too. I've gotten on your butt before. I've told you, like, hey, what are you doing? I'll just check in with you,
Yeah, that one time I was at a Love's and he's like, hey, don't eat the bun on that hot dog. And I'm like, I have one hot dog maybe once a week.
Yeah, I'm kind of a thorn.
But I need that kind of stuff too. I don't get upset about it, because everybody needs motivation. Everybody needs somebody to help keep them accountable, because staying consistent is the hardest thing of this entire journey.
I get those hot dogs and I just put them in that little plate.
That's what I do.
Bun. Yeah, and put all the stuff in there and roll the mustard and everything around. And
that's what I do.
To the counter and they look at me kind of funny.
Yeah, they look at me too.
Love's is the only place I like to eat the bun, because they've got that, what is it, like
That's
a potato roll or something?
That is a nice bun. And
Yeah.
you know what? That's a whole different subject. You can reward yourself. Trust me, I'm a food addict, probably close to your level. The only difference between you and me is I stayed athletic and you didn't. If I hadn't
Correct.
played football and run marathons and stuff, I could have very easily been in the 400 to 500 pound range. That's the only difference between
Well, that and you're not selling body fluids for a snack either.
I could see that happening though, because I have scraped pennies and went to Burger King and McDonald's. So
I'm gonna have to admit, when he told me that story, I was like, that's what I could have did.
Yeah, instead of
Yeah.
And I
using
did it for years. I was 497 pounds at my highest.
And you know what? I remember meeting him in Gas City and seeing that. And I didn't know him at the time, but when I watched him struggle walking to and from the office and getting in and out of his truck, and I saw him, I was like, I hope I become friends with him because I would love to help him. We can fix this. And he did it. So kudos to you for sticking with it.
Well, I'm working on it. I still got a ways to go. I'd like to get down to around 260 to 280, and I just weighed in 2 days ago, and I'm at 318 right now. So I'm getting there.
Yeah, you're getting there. Just never give up. That's the whole thing.
Yep.
So I think now would be a good time for us to switch gears here.
Okay.
And for those of you that haven't watched, this is the part of the show where we do the Warne report. Rich Warne does some unique stories that may or may not have to do with truck driving. Maybe funny, maybe not. And but let's see what he has. Go ahead and take it away there, Rich.
Okay. Since this is recorded, I'm going to take a quick break because I've had 3 bottles of water because we've been recording since like 7 a.m. I need to use the restroom real quick, so I'll be right back.
I'm gonna do the same thing.
And I'll do the same thing.
Well, I'm Rich Warne, and this is the Warne Report. So this week, I found some stories you guys might find interesting. Red Bull says this lady's tattoo is incredible. A Swiss woman has over 7.9 million TikTok views after posting a tattoo of a barcode being eaten by a worm. She was thinking of getting a tattoo barcode for broccoli, but then she was like, no, I want something with more energy, and she thought of Red Bull. So she tattoos the Red Bull UPC code on her arm, has a little worm taking a bite out of it, and then thought, I wonder if this actually works. So she takes it to the scanner and scans her arm, and it charges her the $3.99 for a can of Red Bull. Red Bull in Germany has not yet given her any product or endorsement fees, but she's hoping that she'll get something out of it in the long term from something that she just came up, off the cuff. A Florida couple wakes up to find a bear in their hot tub. Florida Fish and Wildlife was called to Punta Gorda neighborhood on Sunday morning due to a bear being in the couple's hot tub. The bear was on Ring camera footage, removing cushions from the furniture, taking a 6-hour nap, and then taking a dip into their hot tub. Wildlife officials trapped the bear by baiting it with donuts. In further news, I'm fine, and the donuts were delicious. My last story today, a Walmart customer charges himself $1,300 for avocados and then calls the cops to report a robbery. An unnamed customer accidentally had hit $999 instead of $9 when he was trying to charge the avocados on the self-checkout. As employees tried to help the man, he started freaking out and called the cops to report a robbery. He was ranting about suing for mental anguish and distress. The cops ended up cuffing him and removing him from the store. So that kind of leads me to my next question, Charlie. When you were an officer, do you have any crazy stories of things that you saw on the job?
I have a very vivid one I'll never forget.
I knew you would.
So when you're in field training, I was in field training with my FTO, field training officer. We get a call at 2 a.m. that somebody is running naked through the streets of Louisville, in the projects, of course. So we cruise around, we find them. They're running between buildings. We put the spotlight on them, loudspeaker, stop. They just take off. So there's nothing we can do about it. We're not going to get out and run after them. They hadn't committed a crime other than streaking. So then an hour later, we get more calls. He's running down Main Street, Louisville. I mean, Main Street, 6 lanes. So then we do catch him. Unfortunately, since I'm the younger guy and I'm the rookie, I had to go tackle him. This guy was like 6'5", an ex-basketball player, an ex-college basketball player. I did catch him because he was highly drunk and probably highly intoxicated on something else. So the bad part about it is he was so angry when we got him in the back of the car. He purposely kept telling us, I ain't gonna say the words, but I'm gonna poop. I'm gonna poop, and he did. He pooped all over the back seat.
God.
So that's the life of a uniformed officer.
Wow.
Who had to clean that car?
That's what I was going to
The
say.
firehouse. We took it to the firehouse, and they hosed it out.
Wow.
I wasn't touching it.
So,
That's when you realize that the fire and police, they work well together.
did you end up getting any nicknames or anything from that?
You know, maybe behind my back, but no one ever. But the thing is, come to find out, that's more common than not. Drunks pooping and puking and peeing in the back.
Okay.
And the ones that are mad and angry at the police, like you see in videos, they do it on purpose. Some people are just drunk, you know.
Now, do they catch?
His was on purpose.
Do they catch an extra charge if they fling it at you? Like, is that an assault charge or?
Yeah, that's an assault charge. That's an assault charge. And a little side note: when we took him to the corrections department, they come out to the car to get them. They purposely flipped him over by his feet because we had him ankle shanked and handcuffed. So his face, the side of his face fell in it, and they put him in the waiting area and they made him sit there for 6 hours before they checked him in.
Wow.
So he got his judged.
Oh my God.
They have their ways without getting in trouble.
Oh my goodness. All right, so
There you go.
this is also the part of the show where we like to try to get to know people a little bit. And I know that you've got quite a few hobbies, but one of the things that you've told me about, and I'm hoping that you start this back up or get back into it. You used to be in a punk rock band, is that correct?
Yes, I still currently play with my wife, and I'm getting ready to play in our church Christian rock band.
Oh, cool.
So I'm still active.
Are there any recordings of your musical talents? Like, is there any YouTube videos or Facebook videos or?
Is there any old ones? Because when I was in an active band, it was in the 90s. I don't think.
Have you?
Oh, I do have. I have 2 songs of me and her playing. Me on the drums or on guitar, bass. No, you were playing guitar at the time. I have a couple of me and her that are actually pretty good for amateurs. You know, she was really new to the scene.
Would you be able to send those to us somehow?
I will try to find them. If I do, I'll definitely
All
send
right,
them to you.
that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will have some new ones when I start playing at the church. I'm going to play the drums for them, and they record everything. So
Is that going to be
they're a good
Christian
band.
music, or is it going to be like?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It'll be Christian for the church services. It's more progressive Christian. It's not the theological. It's guitar, drums, keyboards.
I've
It's
heard a
not
lot
hidden.
of churches are doing that kind of thing nowadays.
Yeah. So I'm starting that pretty soon.
Don, you got anything?
No, I'd like to check that out. Our church occasionally does stuff like that, where it's not like hymns or it's a popular Christian rock song. Yeah, it's getting pretty popular. I'd like to check that out. If you have them, you can upload them to YouTube. You can make them unlisted, and that way you can share the link to whoever you want. But yeah, it sounds really cool. Yeah. So, well, one of the things that Rich and I were talking about on our last episode is we were talking about side hustles, like what we can make money on or something that's beyond a hobby that you like to do. I know I asked you earlier if it was a side hustle and you said that you used to make money because you train professional athletes. Do you currently have anything else that you do as like a side hustle, or you're just good with Walmart? Or
I'm good with Walmart. When I'm home, I'm very busy. Me and Nadine, we both ride motorcycles, so
I got a side hustle.
I'm picking a new one up in a couple of weeks, and
Harley
we spend a lot of
or-
time. I'm getting a Royal Enfield.
Oh, okay, that's unique.
Harley.
I'm getting that because I'm driving it to Alaska, and it holds up better.
I was just
under
going to
those
ask you
conditions.
about that. You had posted recently that you and who else is going? Like, you guys are taking motorcycles to Alaska and back?
Yeah, we're driving up there and
I'm
back.
going.
She's riding too. We're driving up there and back. Yeah, we're
I'm
going.
not driving. I'm a passenger.
She's
princess.
riding with me. She ain't going to ride her own that far.
Yeah.
But,
So how many other people are going with you?
well, I don't know. I put it out there in some groups here in Washington, and we don't. I'm hoping between maybe 3 and 6. You don't want a real big group. That keeps it where you can stay tight and stay in each other, you know. But yeah, bikes is a big thing. But we have 4 other bikes now currently.
And what's the one that she was working on just recently? I think I saw something on Facebook. She was working on one.
The Aprilia.
Aprilia.
That might
it's
be
an
it.
Italian race bike. Yeah, very rare Italian race bike. And then we have 2 Yamahas and a Buell, which used to be part of Harley.
Hey,
Okay.
you know, I know somebody that has a trike that might want to go.
If I had the time off, I thought about it. I looked at my schedule, and my co-driver and I right now we're running 6-1, so our schedule's stupid tight. So
Trikes, I've seen trikes up there.
When are you guys going?
May.
Probably June, so we can get the 24-hour sunlight.
Yeah. I wouldn't be available until mid-July, so.
Well, I mean, we're open to it. If you want to join, we would love to have you, because that would be fun having you do a relaxing Alaska trip.
Yeah.
I'm open to any day and time. I'm retired.
We're open to it, so we'll have to talk about that later.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't take the 2-wheel. I'd probably take my dad's trike just because it's a safer, more relaxed ride. Because, I mean, it's a rough ride on some of them roads in a semi. I can't imagine what you guys are going to go through on a bike. And I've never gone that far before, so... Yeah, but I think it would be awesome to be able to stop and take pictures, and you know, instead of being in a truck where you just got to go, to be able to slow down and see Alaska and see Canada. I think that would be really cool.
Stay in some of those lodges and campgrounds.
See, that's the other thing. You guys go up north and take the long way. My partner likes to take the Cassiar, and there is nothing.
We take the Cassiar too.
Yeah, but when you guys go to the gym and stuff, you guys take the long way, don't you? Yeah.
Well, you can go to the gym if you go Cassiar too. Actually.
Where do you go?
It's just when you come out of the Cassiar to the Alaska Highway, that T there, you turn right and the gym is 14 miles.
Oh, so you go back toward
Watson Lake.
Yes, Watson Lake. Okay. Yeah, see, my co-driver would be like, wow, we're wasting time. We got to go. So I wouldn't be able to do that. But yeah, I mean, them roads are so rough in a semi. I mean, dude, I can't. We had a flat tire the other day because we hit a pothole. I mean, I can't imagine doing that on a bike.
Well, it sounds to me like
that's why I'm getting the Royal Enfield.
It really sounds to me like that you and Charlie ought to be partners.
We've discussed it that if we ever didn't have our partners anymore, that we would partner up. It would be a perfect pairing.
Yeah. Well, you know, the motorcycle thing, that's really common with Walmart. I've talked to all kinds of people across America that work for different DCs, and well, heck, just our DC alone in Red Bluff, it's not as much as it used to be, but at one point we had quite a few people. It got one of the groups was specifically just BMWs, and then there was another group where it was just all, you know, just whatever, Harley or whatever you had. And there was some guys that would go to Mexico every year down to like Baja or whatever. And pretty common thing. I think a lot of truck drivers are probably into motorcycles, but definitely Walmart for sure.
Yeah, Grandview, the DC me and him are out of, we have a small Walmart riding group.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
It's all kinds of bikes.
Yeah, they're fun.
They're fun, and she goes with us. She rides. If you have a family member. But, yeah, we have a small core group, and we've got everything from Harley to BMW to our crotch rockets. We all just go on, you know, maybe a 3 or 4 hour ride, have lunch, and turn around and come back.
Yeah, my dad was a Harley snob, but I started out, the first bike I ever got was a Honda, and my dad was like, why are you driving that Japanese or Chinese piece of blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, because it was $500 and I don't know how to ride, and if I'm going to dump something, I'd rather dump this than your $5,000 Harley.
Yeah.
And I did. I dumped it in the yard as I was learning how to drive.
Definitely a lot of Walmart drivers do have bikes, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen a couple at the yard, like they use it almost like their daily driver. If the weather's nice, they'll ride it to work and back home. Yeah. I've done it once. I drove that's actually the longest ride I think I've ever taken was from Northwest Indiana all the way to Gas City, went to work, did my thing, and then came back that last day. And man, I never wished I had. Now I have leather. I've got the chaps and the jacket, but I didn't have anything, and it was nighttime, and it was like 40 some degrees, and it was cold. I literally had to
Yeah.
stop and get a hotel room because I couldn't make it the 3.5 hours home because my knuckles were frozen solid, my body was frozen solid. I couldn't do it. I had to stop. But now I've got leather, so
Yeah.
it's a little bit better, and I know a little bit more. I mean, it was like the third time I'd been on the bike, so it was kind of dumb to go that far, but hey, you live and learn.
Yeah. Live and learn.
So you said you had a story at the beginning of the show. Was that cop story you were talking about? You said you had a good.
No, it was an Alaskan poop story.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was an
Me,
Alaskan story. Okay.
me and Gabe, we caught some kind of flu. We don't know what it was. If I gave it to him, he gave it to me, but we both ended up with it in the truck. And Tok, Alaska. So Tok, between there and the Yukon border, there's nothing. Well, I had to go. I woke up in bed and he was driving. I said, "You got to pull over." He said, "It's another 30 miles from next." I said, "No, it's now or it's going to be in the truck." It was 33 below.
Oh gosh.
I got out, knee deep snow under the trailer, and there she went. And then when I was driving the next day, he pulled over. No pullover. He had to go. He ran into the woods in knee deep snow, and he was shaking and scared because he's scared. He's scared of the bears and all that. He was worried about a wolf or a bear, which I said, "Here, take my knife, go." So we've already done that up there.
Yeah, my first co-driver had the same problem. There was one day he's like, "Man, I gotta go." He goes, I can't wait any longer." There's, like I said, there's some places up there you can drive 40, 50 kilometers and not see anything, not even a little pull off trash can, nothing. And he was like, "I gotta go," and I'm like, "All right." So I parked on the side of the road, threw the four ways on, and he jumped down into the woods and did his thing. So we carry adult like wipes you would use for like babies, but they're for adults. We carry those with us in case we have issues. And we carry those blue shop towels that you can get like Walmart or any auto parts store because they're a little bit softer, but a lot more durable. So we carry those with us. The craziest story I've ever had when something like that happened. Boy, this is fun. So I was sick one time and I was on antibiotics and I thought that I was better. Well, I didn't know what strong antibiotics can do to you. And I was going through a small town in Missouri, I think, one time when this happened. And all of a sudden I was like, I've got to go. And I pulled into this shopping center. I don't know how I got the truck in there because it was like a little mom and pop grocery store. It wasn't a big grocery store. And I was hauling doors and windows at the time. And I knew I wasn't going to make it. I kept telling myself, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. I got all the way to the back of the store, and the lady's like, "Yeah, the bathrooms are behind those, like double doors, and it's in the utility closet or whatever, one of those type of deals." As soon as I opened the door and I saw the toilet, I was like, "Yes!" And my body said, "Yes!" And boom, right there, it went down my leg. It was all over the floor. It was disgusting. So I ran into the actual bathroom and I'm like, what do? I don't have a change of clothes. I can't do anything. It's everywhere. You could see there was a trail on the floor, like breadcrumbs following me into the bathroom. I'm like, I have no choice but to wash my sweats out in the sink, dry and do the best I can. I'm in there for 30 minutes. There's people knocking on the door and I'm like, "Sorry, I'll be a little bit." And I came back out and there's a lady standing there that works for the store. I looked at her and I just apologized. I said, "I am terribly sorry." I said, I'm on a medication. It made me sick. And she's like, "Is that what's on the floor?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm so embarrassed, but I couldn't just leave it there. I couldn't walk away. So I had to fess up and tell her what was going on. It was so embarrassing. So yeah, that's my story.
Well, it's good to know. It's good to know. I've got a little animal
I think we've all got one. I mean, Don, you got one?
Well, yeah, no, this was way before Walmart, way back in the day. And I worked for the tanker company, and I don't even know what year this was, like 02, 03, something like that. and I was eating these sugar-free chocolates. And yeah, I didn't. Well, they were kind of new back then, right? This is back in the earlier days,
They
like
still,
zero
Well,
or
sugar-free
let's
candy still does that, though.
well, yeah, I can eat some, but apparently one of these companies uses a certain sugaring deal, and I didn't eat one or two. I ate the whole bag, and I'm like, whatever. And so I went to bed, and yeah, next morning I woke up and I was like, there was a bathroom pretty close by, but it didn't matter. I wasn't going to get out of the truck. I mean, well, I tried to. And needless to say, I had to throw that sleeping bag away. Thank God I had a sleeping bag. It totally solved it because the sleeping bag just caught the whole thing. I was able to, I always carry stuff to clean up. So I had completely
well, it's
cleaned
good
up. I just rolled that up, threw it in the trash, and it actually worked out pretty good. And then I got home, and my wife goes, "Where'd your sleeping bag go?" And I go, "Well, that's kind of a long story." But ever since then, she laughs because she goes, "Oh yeah, don't feed him those sugar-free chocolates. That does not work for him at all." And I don't know which one. I don't remember, but I just don't eat any of them now. I'm like, nope.
well, it's good to know I'm not the only poop problem.
I was going to say, if you've been a driver for any length of time, I'm sure everybody has got a story that, yeah.
Well, it's funny because the whole time you guys were talking about the poop problems here, there was a driver for Walmart. He was a really good friend. He just recently passed away a few years ago. He had a brain tumor, and his name was Ray Robbins. And he was at Walmart when I came, and he, like me and him, you're talking about food addicts. I've always like got the best food I can eat, lots of it. He's the same way. He ate everything. He would stop me, like he'd see me at a vendor, and he would run across the parking lot because he knew I always had an ice chest full of like ice cold Cokes and barbecue that I barbecued up, just to come get a cheeseburger or something from me. And so he ran into these problems all the time, but he was not like shy about it. He'd carry all the plastic bags, and he'd call it. He had a northeastern like from Maine accent, like "pak the ka" like that. So when he told the
Yeah.
stories, it was hilarious anyway. And he was saying that he's going to have a blowout, or I can't say it how he said it, but a blowout. There's always a blowout. And like he'd tell me this all the time. I'm like, Ray, you gotta quit running around telling everybody this.
That's a
But
great
you know what?
I've
time.
heard-
It stuck with me just in case. I always have a lot of bags.
I've heard guys will carry
Yeah.
empty pizza boxes with them just in case they have a problem.
Pizza. Oh my god.
Can't- I like the bags better.
That's one delivery I don't want to get.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I've gotten really good at when I have to use, whether I have to pee or number two or whatever. I've gotten really good at it because, like I said, I've lost a lot of weight quickly in time, and I've done it with like vegetable juice. Well, if anybody knows, that's called a reboot, which means everything dumps out of you in the first 24 hours, and then it goes on for like a day and a half, 2 days, three tops. And so I've learned how to, like, if I'm going to drink juice or a lot of liquid, I'll do it in the morning because I know I'm going to stop in the first like 2 hours. I'll plan it out. And I don't drink a lot of liquids before bed. And if I eat a lot of food or whatever, I'll plan it out when I'm going to be stopping. After
Yeah.
24 years of driving a truck, you figure it out.
Yeah. You learn.
I've noticed since I've been eating healthier that I have less issues of needing to find a place to go.
Yes. That helps so good. The healthier eating, you're more consistent.
Yep.
Yeah.
It does help.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
don't have those major urges like, oh, I've got to go like in the next 5 minutes. All that has stopped since I started eating healthier. So
My partner has that.
Well, it goes along with what we were saying in the beginning: consistency, and your body gets used to it, and then
yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
bathroom breaks.
Yeah.
Well, this podcast has been eventful. Now we know how to deal with this if you're in the truck.
So we're going to do something new today, Charlie, that we came up with this morning, and you're going to be the first one to do this. So we're going to start ending our show with the same question that we're going to ask everybody. So
You're our guinea pig.
Yeah, you're a guinea pig. So the question is, and I'll give you my answer, so you've got time to think about it while I'm giving you my answer. So the question is, if you could pick any mythical female to be your mom, who would you pick? And I was tossed between Lucille Ball and Wilma Flintstone. But I think if I was to try to find one that was actually closest to my mom, it would probably be Lucille Ball, because she had a heart of gold. And no matter what she tried to do, something always seemed to backfire on her. So if I had to pick any mythical mom, I think I would pick Lucille Ball. Who would be your mythical mom?
I like your choice, and mine's along the same lines. Carol Burnett. I love Carol Burnett because can you imagine a mom? You would just laugh endlessly. You would probably have a stroke from laughing.
Well, you took mine. That was earlier we were talking, and I was saying Samantha from Bewitched, and then when he asked the question, I was thinking no, Carol Burnett, and then right now you just said it. But I would, yeah, Bewitched, because they were totally off the hook. They're like everything went on that show. I think that would have been a good mom. I think.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Kind of showing our age there.
Yeah, a little bit. So, all right,
So
well, that's all I got, Don. So,
yeah, no, I think it's been a good podcast. We're an hour and something here, so
it's probably our longest episode.
Yeah,
But I knew it was going to be our best one.
Well, we want to have you. I want to have you back, Charlie, because we didn't even hardly touch on all your law enforcement and the fact that Walmart is really good about giving time for people that are in the military, the law enforcement. We have a lot of people that are hired from law enforcement, like our safety guy and safety gal. We also have, she's a DOT officer from Arkansas, and it's pretty common for a lot of law enforcement people to come here.
They have a great bond with them, with the human trafficking and the FBI, and it's amazing what they do together. And it goes. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, they pay you a lot of times instead of just giving you the time off. So I think we should have another episode where we have you on, where that's more the topic of discussion. If you'd like to be on again.
Yeah, I'm always open.
Cool.
So,
all right. Well, good. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you, Don.
Yeah, good meeting you. I'll see you up at Grandview. My week consists of, I show up at work, I go immediately to Hermiston, and I either run for them or I go do Grandview. So I'll see you.
Okay, sounds good. Just stay out of Seattle.
Yes.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
See you later.
All right. See you later.